Bismillah Rahman Rahim. Welcome to the part two of lecture number 17 and 18. And we were discussing the international business strategy for M&E. And we stopped the lecture at strategic fit. And this is the graphical representation of strategic fit. This is basically understanding that operation strategy and organizational architect. Organizational architect should support the organizational strategy, and organizational architect should support strategy. When these two will support strategy, and that will fit with the market conditions. If any one of these two factors is misaligned, then your strategy is not going to fit with market conditions. Markets dynamics are constantly changing. Likewise, there can be a new monetary policy or new government regulations can be announced. So if your strategy is not aligned and customized within operation strategy and organizational architect, it is not going to complement the market conditions in which you are operating. Now, global expansion and profits are correlated. Firms that operate internationally can expand the market for the domestic product offerings by selling these products in international markets. It's understood. Likewise, a local brand is at the saturation stage and they have surplus capacity, so they can dispose of their surplus capacity in other markets in order to increase their revenues and profits. Meanwhile, at the same time, realize location economies by dispersing individual value creation activities to location around the globe where they can be performed most efficiently and effectively. So you should not concentrate your operational activities into one or two locations, but rather you should decentralize your production capacity operations to the areas or the localities where the cost of manufacturing of the component is the lowest possible. Realize greater cost economies from experience effect by serving an expanded global market from a central location, thereby reducing the cost of value creation. And last point can be earn a greater return by leveraging any valuable skills developed in foreign operations and transfer them to the other entities within the firm's global network of operation. Likewise, हमारे यहाँ पे जैसे एक फास्ट फूड चेन है मैकडोनल्ड के नाम से, तो मैकडोनल्ड की एक अपनी यूनिवर्सिटी है जहाँ पे अपने मैनेजरियल एंड कुकिंग स्टाफ को बाकायदा ट्रेनिंग देते हैं. एंड थ्रू आउट द ईयर ये यूनिवर्सिटी जो है, इनका एक काम है कि जो शेफ्स हैं वो नए मेन्यूज ट्राई आउट करते हैं. वंस फाइनली अ मेन्यू इज सिलेक्टेड विच विल बी इंक्लूडेड इनटू द स्पेसिफिक मार्केट्स, एंड उसके बाद आहिस्ता आहिस्ता फिर ये सारी जो इनकी ऑफिशियल चेन्स है थ्रू आउट द वर्ल्ड, वो फिर वहाँ पे कम्युनिकेट होता है और वहाँ पे फिर वो मैस प्रोड्यूस होकर मैसेज के लिए जा रहा होता है. Okay. Now, how can a company gain leveraging product and competencies to increase growth? A firm can sell products or services developed at home in foreign markets. Success depends on the types of goods and services and the firm's core competencies, which should include but not limit to skills within the firm that competitors cannot easily match or copy or imitate your products. That will be your core competency, which will help you in selling your products in foreign markets. Core competencies include enable the firm to reduce the cost of value creation and create perceived value so that the premium pricing is possible. Then location economies is firms should locate value creation activities where economic, political and cultural conditions are most conducive to the performance of that activity. देखिए पाकिस्तान में जो टेक्सटाइल सेक्टर से रिलेटेड पॉलिसीज पिछली दो गवर्नमेंट्स के टाइम में आई थी, दे वर नॉट बिजनेस फ्रेंडली. एज ए रिजल्ट पाकिस्तान जो टेक्सटाइल सेक्टर था, दे वर एट लूजिंग एंड, whereas compare it with Bangladesh textile sector policy, and they were dominating in the market, and that is true even right now. They are at number one or number two right now, the largest textile exporters in the world. But first of all, that title was held with Pakistan, but due to the government policies, that switched. So the Pakistani textile manufacturer were forced to relocate your production facilities in different other countries. Likewise, Bangladesh was the epicenter of those business activities. Firms that successfully do this can realize location economy, the economies that arise from performing a value creation activity. वैल्यू क्रिएशन एक्टिविटी का मतलब यह है कि आपकी जो प्रोडक्ट डेवलप होनी है, जो मैन्युफैक्चर होनी है, जो असेंबल होनी है in the optimal location for that activity, wherever in the world that might be. Locating value creation activities in optimal locations can lower the cost of value creation and can enable a firm to differentiate its product offerings from those of competitors. Multinationals that take advantage of location economies create a global web of value creation activities. Under this strategy, different stages of the value creation are dispersed to those locations around the globe where perceived value is maximized or where the cost of value creation is minimized. Introducing transportation costs and trade barriers complicates this picture, and political risk must be assessed when making location specific decisions. The experience curve, this is the systematic reduction in the production cost that have been observed to occur over the life of a product. A product's production cost decline by some quantity about each time cumulative outputs double. Simply put, ये उस सूरत में हो सकता है कि जब आपके पास with the passage of time, when you try to understand and optimize your operations related to product manufacturing, so every single time a new batch is developed, automatically you will start reducing the cost it incurs for product development or product assembly or product manufacturing, and that will translate into experience curve. Learning effect is another cost saving parameter that comes from learning by doing itself. Likewise, labor productivity increase when individuals learn the most efficient ways to perform particular tasks, and management learns how to manage the new operations more efficiently. So crux of this element is this learning effect is that you can learn by doing it. So you have to actually perform the tasks and jobs. Economies of scales, that is the reduction in unit cost achieved by producing a large volume of a product. The sources of economies of scales include the firm should have the ability to spread fixed cost over a large volume of the order they have received to produce, or the ability of the large firm to employ increasingly specialized equipment or personnels. And then serving a global market from a single location is consistent with moving down the experience curve and establishing a low cost position. Subsidiary skills we can leverage as well to help increase firm value. Managers should recognize that valuable skills can be developed anywhere in the world, anywhere within the firm's global network, not just at its corporate center or headquarter. So use incentive systems to encourage local employees to acquire new skill set. Develop a process to identify when new skills have been created, or act as facilitators to transfer valuable skills within the firm. So you have to ensure that there is an incentive system for the employees, which should encourage your employees workforce across the globe to learn new skills, techniques, and processes which can translate in competitive advantage for your firm. Let's summarize this overall phenomena, and then we move on to the next point. Firms that expand internationally can increase their profitability and profit growth by entering markets where competitors lack similar competencies. So while you have developed your competitive edge over competition, then you have to understand and realize that you have to enter those markets where your competition lack the competencies your organization hold. Then you have to realize the location economies and exploring experience curve effects, and last but not least, you have to transfer valuable skills within your organizational network across the globe. Competitive pressure, firms that compete in global marketplace typically face two types of competitive pressures. Pressures for cost reduction and pressure to be locally responsive, which can result in pressure place conflicting demands on the firm. Now, competitive pressure, One is cost reduction and second one is local responsiveness. If अगर वो एक फर्म है जिसका लो रिस्पांस रेट है, लोकल रिस्पॉन्सिवनेस को और कंपेटिटिव प्रेशर भी कम है, तो वो एक में आ जाएगा. देन फर्म ए जो है उसके ऊपर कंपेटिटिव प्रेशर भी ज़्यादा है लेकिन लोकल रिस्पॉन्स कम है, तो दैट इज़ अ गुड सिचुएशन. फॉर्म सी इज़ अंडर a lot of local responsiveness pressure and at the same time there is low competitive pressure, cost reduction pressure. And firm C at the same time is looking for tough competition because इसके ऊपर pressure for local responsiveness भी बहुत ज़्यादा है और cost reduction pressure from competition भी बहुत ज़्यादा है. Now, let's try to understand this. Pressures for cost reductions are great in industries producing commodity type products that fulfill universal needs. Universal needs, which is borderless, genderless, ethnicity-less, cultural-less. These are the universal needs which every human being have to satisfy these needs. According to Maslow need hierarchy, these include physiological needs. That exist when the taste and preference of consumer in different nations are similar, if not identical. When major competitors are based in low-cost location, where there is persistent excess capacity, or when consumers are powerful and face low switching cost, or to respond to these pressures from need to lower the cost of value creation, that is again the manufacturing cost of their products and services for final consumers, you have to reduce those costs due to these reasons. Uh, Pressure for local responsiveness arises from differences in consumer taste and preferences. The market you are about to enter, उनके जो customers हैं उनके पास अपना एक culture होगा, अपने taste preferences होंगी, so you have to respect them. Or traditional practices or infrastructure can be different in the new market where you want to enter, so you have to be conscious about that. And then difference in distribution channels, business practices are different country to country and region to region, or maybe there are certain demands from host country where you want to establish your international operations. Firms facing these pressure need to differentiate their products and marketing strategies in each country. I will conclude part 2 of this lecture series, and I will see you people in the next last section of this lecture series. Till then, Allah Hafiz.